I cannot believe you've had to do all of these 3 things in the 1 year, Loz. So what I thought we would do first is literally go over our logistics in terms of where our kids are each day of the week. So you could start with Sienna, then go to Zave, then go to Gus. And I want you to also bring into that when you're actually returning to your paid job, and you could bring in how often you're working on Ready or Not on top of that. People are about to get blown away by you if they're not already.
Okay. Do you really want me to list it out?
I reckon people love this like boring nitty gritty shit.
Okay.
Like, I used to always want to know what people do each day and where the drop-offs and pickups are, you know?
Yep. All right. Let's do it. I want to preface this by saying I do not like this situation that I'm in. I was speaking to several girlfriends around it, and not that I feel like I'm on the brink of burnout, but I don't think my schedule is aspirational. I don't want people to take it like something that they should be doing, or like I'm doing it all. I actually think it's super overwhelming, and it stresses me out. Yeah.
So, I was actually even thinking the way I said, like, people would think you're amazing. I was like, here I go clapping the busy mum, you know, like that's a bit ick that I even said that.
But
so
I also want to lay out what my situation looks like. I have a partner that travels very frequently for work. We have a big pay discrepancy in our relationship. So Ryan would be the breadwinner. Sadly, I am not, although you never bloody know, mate. Yeah. You just never know.
He also has his own business in its infancy, really.
Yeah. So which
is an interesting one.
Yeah, he has his own business. They're very much a startup. For anybody who has a partner or who works in a startup themselves, the hours are extreme. So when people say to me, oh, you know, Loz, I don't like my job, I'm going to start my own business. Quite honestly, my advice is research the fuck out of what's involved before you do that, because yes, you can potentially make pick up and drop off, but you're going to be working till 2 a.m. every night, babe. Like, it's just not that easy. So let's start with Monday, and I'll give a full rundown of my children. I've got Sienna. She's 5. She's just started prep. We're going to the local community school. That does not open until 8:45, where there's a teacher on yard duty, and it starts at 8:55 where they line up and go into the classroom. Pickup is at 3:30. There is no after and before care for term 1 for preppies.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and we have every Wednesday off.
Yeah, for term 1, and then she goes 5 days term 2.
Yeah. For Zave, he's in 3-year-old kinder. We are doing a semi-community funded kinder, so it's 8:30 till 4, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. We still have to pay out of pocket for the additional hours. But it's far cheaper than daycare. Yeah.
So, and by that you mean, I think, is it the kinder or the government fund 15 hours of that, and you pay on top of that?
Correct. Yeah. So then we have Gus, the sweet, beautiful angel,
the little darling baby of the family,
who will be starting daycare 2 days a week, and that is from 7 till 6.
And what days are that?
That's Tuesday and Thursday. Okay.
So on those days, you have all kids in care on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
My work days look like this. March, I am starting back 2 days a week, Monday and Tuesday. April, I am starting back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. May, I am continuing to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. June, I go back full time. Yeah. So I'll be doing 5 days in 4, which is just going to be astronomical. We have heaps of other stuff going on in the background. Ryan is traveling a lot. I'm also doing work for Ready or Not. My days for Ready or Not most likely will be that Wednesday when I'm at home with Gus. For the time being, I'm going to have to make it work with him there, because financially that's just our situation. I don't want to be paying for care.
Fair.
And he's still napping. So I'm going to do a lot of chunks then. And then my work on Ready or Not will be mostly after hours. Yeah. So between that 9 p.m. to 11 p.m.
And I think people don't realise how much is actually involved.
A lot.
Yeah. Like how many hours a week do you think you're working on Ready or Not?
Oh, my God. 10? At the moment, probably 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like
more.
So you guys
I would actually say more.
Yeah, I reckon it's actually more too.
Yeah.
You guys see 2 episodes released a week. You've got, probably 4 hours a week. No,
there's a lot. It's the production schedule. It's the editing. It's the social clips. It's the ideation. Yeah. It is the
I do more of the sort of editorial planning. You manage all of the partnerships and I contribute. I manage the sort of editorial planning and you contribute. I sort of manage the social media, but you strategically set up some trial reels to see what will land.
Oh, it is just, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
So walking you through Monday to Friday. Monday, I am in the office. On Monday, I have a nanny. Yes, it is expensive. I'm not going to lie, but I could not figure out another way of organising care for that day because I have to be in the office 2 days a week. Yeah. It's a non-negotiable. And with daycare sickness and having done it so many flipping times before, I can't risk having daycare on that day. I also don't want to pay for public holidays. Sorry, I'm a tight ass. So got a nanny on a Monday. That nanny will look after my nanny babysitter. I almost call her like a family member because I've known her for so long. Yeah. She will do the drop-offs and pickups, and she will look after Gus and Zave in my home.
Amazing.
On Tuesday, I have my dad. He is absolutely
Phenomenal.
incredible.
And that's another office day.
That is another in-office day. So I've got 2 consistent days of care. I'm lucky in that I know those 2 days, even if my children are sick, most likely my babysitter will be fine and my dad is pretty chill, even though he's copped the flu twice. I feel so bad. Bless his soul. So he will have the kids that day and do drop-offs and pickups. Gus is in care. Sienna is at school. Xavier's with dad.
Yeah.
Wednesdays is my day at home. So I will be doing all drop-offs and pickups. I will have Gus with me. Zave has kindy, Sienna has school. Thursday, I have all kids cared for.
Yes.
Sienna is in school, Zave is at kindy, Gus is in daycare. I will be managing all the drop-offs and pickups myself. It is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
The minute I can do before and after care for school, I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I will not be able to get to the office until like 10:30.
Yeah.
I won't be able to log on. Like it's genuinely so stressful. Friday, I will work from home. So I will do drop-offs and pickups. My dad also helps on the Friday and has Gus during the day.
Wow.
So anybody listening that's like, oh, you know, you can do it all. I can't do it all, mate. I have so much help.
Yeah.
So much help. Like it is astronomical and I'm very lucky. But it is also exceptionally overwhelming. There is no margin for error with drop-offs and stuff. And
Ryan travels a lot, as I think you already said in this episode. And he works proper office hours.
Yeah, he does. And I would also love to be able to say, oh, you know, get your partner involved, do drop-off and pickups. And I encourage that for everybody else. But unfortunately for my situation, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So that's my reality.
That's why I think it's interesting to bring up that he has his own business in its early days, because I think if you heard that a senior guy worked in an organisation on a great salary at a really big business, there's probably more leeway than that. But it's pretty hard setting up a new business as he has.
And it's also global. So his hours, I mean, it's what I used to do when I just had one child,
God,
where I'd have like
San Francisco calls.
Yeah, I'd have like calls with New York at 6 a.m. in the morning, and then I'd have calls with the UK at 8 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't, it's not conducive to looking after a child. What's your schedule?
And so my schedule is honestly not even really worth going through after listening to that. Posey is in childcare it's just changed. So even wrapping my head around the logistics is funny because it's just changed to mirror Ray's kindergarten program. So she's in care Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays. A lot of my freelance work at the moment is copywriting. Then I probably spend, I'd say about 12 hours a week on Ready or Not work. So that's pretty much 2 days because, so Posey's days are Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. They are full daycare days. Down the coast, I think the vibe is very different with childcare. It's pretty hard to drop your kid before 8. It is done, but Ray used to hate it. So now we just tend to drop Posey at about 8.
Yeah.
Just because he could not go into that shared room before 8. It would drive him fucking crazy. So I think now we're just like traumatized by it.
Yeah.
So when her actual room opens at 8, that's when we drop her off at about 8. And pickup culture is interesting down the coast and I think very different to Melbourne. If your kid is later than 4, and obviously there's people that have no choice, you start to get anxious because there's not many kids left over there.
Yeah.
Because I think down the coast, a lot of people work in healthcare, a lot of people are teachers, a lot of people are trades. Obviously, that's painting a brush as though that's every single person, but it probably is the majority, especially sort of in our friendship groups. Ray's kinder is 9 to 3 on Tuesday, 12:45 till 3:45 on Thursday. I'm going to try and get my parents to help out sometimes there, but Hayden's working from home a lot at the moment.
Okay.
So that's been really relaxed. I was actually thinking before what we were talking about, you saying that there's a version of motherhood where someone has a lot of time and money, where of course they can be a good mum because it's so much easier. And I was thinking about how school holidays in January, our first sort of kindergarten holidays, weren't as bad for me because Hayden was working from home that entire month.
Yeah.
And so that was it wasn't the gift of money for us, but it was the gift of time. So I was able to actually be a better parent and share the load because Hayden was working from home.
Yeah.
So I remember even having this moment of like, oh, school holidays aren't that bad. And then I checked myself and I was like, no.
They're
it's
bad.
Because you had your partner next to you 24/7 that whole time to do it with you. If Hayden had gone into an office job from that first week of Jan and that was that, I'm sure I would have been complaining every second hour.
Yeah.
And then on a Friday, Ray is in care 9 till 3. So it's only, 6 plus 6, 12. It's 15 hours, as
Do
we know,
you have
of
the
free
option of before care or after care with kinder?
Not that I know of. I
So
actually
neither
haven't
do
even
I.
asked.
And I think that is the toughest part.
Yeah, so that's tricky.
Yeah.
Let's start with you. I would love to know, as someone that will do it in 2 years, what is the lead up to readiness for school? Like, what did you do at the end of last year? And then what do the first days look like?
Okay, 1,000 orientations.
Yeah.
So there's about 6 weeks of orientations that go for an hour.
You're kidding?
No.
Weekly?
Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
great for the kids, but again, hard for parents.
October, November, December, depending on what your school does.
Yeah.
I actually found that surprising because I was thinking
I've
to
never
myself,
heard that till now.
thank God I was on mat leave. Otherwise, I would not be able to work. So you need to be there for that hour. Well, you're going to be there anyway because you're not really going to drop them off and then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, you can go back to your car and work if you like.
Yeah.
But you have to get them there. And then the transition to school is obviously you've got that month of January where they do not have any care.
Yeah.
And some schools do offer school programs. I know they are subsidised, which does help because you're obviously looking for assistance when you're trying to work.
Yeah.
And then that first month or two, like the first 6 weeks, usually they either have reduced hours or they have a day at home during that week. So again, that is quite difficult to cater for.
Yeah. If someone works full time, how do you do that?
Yeah. It's so funny too because I knew it was all coming up and then it's not until you're in it when you're like far out.
That's
this
like how I'm
is
feeling
so
about lunch boxes. I'm
hard.
like, oh, we have to really make lunch boxes all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And like, it's coming.
And it's the
then it
mornings for
comes.
me that are
Yeah.
really difficult. The night times are exhausting, don't get me wrong, especially when you're doing a lot of it yourself. But it's the actual mornings I find so hard because there's no parking.
Yeah.
I'm rushing. I hate that I'm rushing. My adrenaline is high.
Yeah.
My kids are sitting there dicking around trying to put the remote on. I'm like, turn it off, eat your breakfast, get in the car. Like it is
You can't help but get annoyed, and then you feel annoyed at yourself for getting annoyed because they're just
and then there's
kids,
traffic and I'm like,
blah,
I need to get
blah.
to work. Like I think I underestimated, which has been humbling, quite frankly,
Yeah.
just how difficult it is for parents to get to work if you are in an office, particularly
Yes.
on time.
Oh, it's so hard.
It is so hard.
Your schedule is so much more full than mine. It almost embarrasses me.
No,
likening
it's not
mine
about that.
or talking about it against yours. I thought I'd quickly now go through what the kindergarten setup has been like for anyone that's starting next year or just is interested in how it works. So we decided to commit to community kinder, which is free. I thought, hey, let's keep our overheads as low as possible this year. We'll figure it out. He does a lot of quoting. He's not on site as much. So for anyone that doesn't know, Hayden's a builder. Not on site as much now, more just does the admin at home and quoting jobs, meeting people, blah, blah, blah. So I felt like we could make it work. Also, context, 2 sets of unbelievable grandparents to help us. So that's why we knew that we could probably do the 2.5 days, given I freelance and Hayden works for himself. Very important context because not everyone could do that. With readiness for kindergarten, we had one session at the end of last year where Ray and both of us came and met all the teachers. It was really lovely. He loved the kindergarten straight away, like just good vibes. Then we had a meeting at the end of January, the week before he started. Again, met all the teachers, had a play. Posey came for that one as well as Hades. Again, really good vibes. Loved it. Then on the week before their proper start, you get like a half day twice. Hades and I went through the logistics of this so many times and we still were getting confused because when he's actually in the system, which is now, he goes on a Thursday. We kept being like, oh, fuck, who's going to get him there from 12 to 3 Thursday? We both have work. We were all over the shop. And then we kept realizing he actually doesn't have that Thursday on that week when he started. So we just like could not wrap our head around the logistics of starting kinder at the start.
Yeah.
Then I take him to the first day. I did drop off. I got there half an hour early again because it's so confusing, all these half days.
Yes.
He bawls his eyes out and I was like, oh, here we go. I've ruined the start of Ray's kindergarten because he's crying because he can't go in because I told him he started. And we've had this build up and now he's crying. Quickly went and got an ice cream, sat on like a towel outside the kinder, had this ice cream, luckily calmed him down. Went in. He didn't actually want me to leave at the start. He started playing with trains with another little boy. Eventually, he was okay with me leaving.
Yeah.
Hades was doing pickup that day at 3. It was literally 3 hours of care in that sort of orientation week. Hades was doing pickup, but very uncharacteristic of me. I was like, no, I have to come. It's too cute. I need to see what he's like. Whereas normally I'm pretty good at being hands off with that shit and just being like, you do it, Hades. We both went and picked him up. He walked out. We were so lucky this has just worked well. And I don't want to rub it into the face of anyone whose kindergarten or whatever isn't working that well.
It's not about that. It's just
I want to give
story.
other people hope who might be entering a new phase. He walked out and he goes, I love my new school. And he's loved it ever since. And that is actually all we have time for. But if people want us to go deeper on just the mundane logistics that you talk about with your friends but that don't really seem like great content, let us know and we'll do more of it.
Absolutely.
But I feel like people are going to be obsessed with hearing your context because everyone knows.
I don't know that they will.
Nah,
I
they
feel
will.
like it's so bland and beige. But by all means, hit me up.
Especially the corporate people really appreciate hearing what you do.
Yeah.
And it's a lot.
Juggling so much.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I wouldn't recommend to anybody, quite frankly. I am hoping that mid-year we've got a better solution. As a family unit, we have less things going on. Yeah, sponsors come at us. Just anything that's going to help ease a load.
Yeah.
But if you're in a similar boat to me, where you are juggling a lot, Never feel bad about asking for help. That's one thing that I really pride myself on doing.
You're very good at that.
And if you can outsource, do it.
Yeah. If you can afford to do it, fucking do it. Like coming back to that idea of a good mum, like good mums don't outsource. Yes, they fucking do.
Yes, they do.
Do it.
If you have loved today's episode, please leave us a positive review. Follow us on readyornot.pod on Instagram. And please send us your Dear Ready or Not questions because we've got some rippers.
We've got some rippers.
And see you next week.